Welcome to the LTL update presented by DDC FPO. DDC specializes in business process outsourcing and supports 50% of the top LTL carriers as ranked by revenue. Today I'm joined by DDC's Vice President of Sales for North America, Chad Crotty. Welcome, Chad.
Thanks, Zach. Great to be back with you.
Yeah, so a lot's happened since our last update. Volatility continues to exist, except LTL pricing appears to be holding relatively steady, and there haven't been any major shakeouts in capacity in the sector. Are you surprised by this, and what are you seeing?
You know, Zach, I'm not surprised by much anymore these days. 2020 has been kind of a wild ride for us. There's still a tremendous amount of uncertainty out there that's driving the decision-making process in the market. That said, freight volumes are up for most of our customers. Consumer spending seems to be relatively high, despite high unemployment. And government stimulus may help as a stopgap, but there's always that risk that something unforeseen could impact freight volumes.
Yeah, that appears to be a consistent theme in 2020. So how can carriers manage the uncertainty and improve efficiency?
We recommend that carriers take a measured approach between technology integration and applying practical knowledge. For example, a lot of carriers are considering API integrations to share data among the supply chain and raise visibility. The problem with that is that there's a lot of moving parts within the supply chain. Not everybody has invested in the same level of technology. So what you end up with is still a lot of manual processes for requiring resources for inbound, outbound calling, tracking shipments, things like that require a lot of time, effort, and cost. So it's a perfect time to engage with an outside expert to help kind of guide you through that process.
Right on. So once they decide on something to implement, how do they move forward?
It's really about workforce planning. We've talked about this before. We help carriers maintain balance between initiatives like this all the time. As an example, a lot of carriers are moving toward in-cab scanner technology. We've been seeing more and more of that these days. The problem with that is that the image quality can sometimes be poor. Did you know that poor image quality can reduce productivity by up to 20% in some cases?
You know, I didn't know the exact stat, but having audited many LTL bills myself, I can believe it, looking at those blurry images. So in an effort to become more efficient, you basically can make yourself less efficient in the process.
That's right. It's what we call unintended consequences. So, unfortunately, there's no silver bullet. So what we do is we lean on our years of experience. We have teams of people who have focused on nothing but freight back office for the past 15 years with scores of different carriers. So there's not much that we haven't seen across the board. So we leverage our expertise in addition to our tech stack to kind of guide the carriers in the best approach that works for them.
Good deal. So aside from workforce planning, are there other takeaways that the industry is learning from the pandemic?
Absolutely. Well, first, it should be noted that these issues can and should be solved in lockstep with business continuity planning. My advice, whether it's a BPO like DDC or a different type of service provider, carriers should trust in their vendors to adapt and innovate as needed when these changes arise. We're not without our own set of challenges in this pandemic. I'll be the first to admit we had some challenges to overcome, but we stayed open and operational this entire time and adapted as quickly as possible to help support the carriers that we work with.
Adaptability, a key term in the 2020 era. So thank you so much, Chad, for your insights, and thank you so much for watching, and be sure to check out FreightWaves.com for any future LTL updates as well as other industry insights.